What's up, guys? It's your boy, JK Primetime. I'm back here with another video. There's big news coming out of the NBA tonight as the Indiana Pacers have traded Paul George for Domantas Sabonis and Victor Oladipo. Now, this is a huge trade. This was not one someone was expecting. Everyone was saying if he wasn't going to get traded, people were thinking even the Lakers, or he would just stay put and opt out. There wasn't really any huge teams. The Cavs were talked about, but again, they couldn't really move much because no other team had an interest in Kevin Love because were talks of a 3-team trade between the Cavs, Pacers, and Nuggets. Now, with this trade, the Pacers get Domantas Sabonis. He averaged in 20 minutes last year in his rookie year. He averaged 5.9 points, 3.6 rebounds, only 0.4 blocks. He shot 32% from the three-point line, and he shot around 2 threes a game. Now with Sabonis, I actually liked him. I liked him coming out of college. He's from Gonzaga. I really like him. I really think he can develop well. Again, he might be someone that takes, 20 minutes, these are pretty decent stats. He could be a good role player for your team again. He's not going to be anything too crazy, but he gets the job done at the center position. Also, what the Pacers get is Victor Oladipo. Now, Victor Oladipo, in 33 minutes last year, averaged around 16 points, 4.5 rebounds, 2.5 assists, 36% from the three-point line, which was a career high, while shooting 5.3 threes a game, which was a career high, after only shooting 3.9 or around 4 threes a game the year before. He also had 1.2 steals and about 2 turnovers. Now, with Oladipo, you get an athletic defender. He also has some scoring. He's not a guy that can be, I really don't think he's a guy that can be a number one option for you, but he's a good complementary piece because he can still score. And he also provides the defense. He has a good shot on him. So he's definitely a decent player. He's not a star, but he can definitely be a solid starter and contributor for your team. Now, we get to the Pacers. They get Paul George. Is there anything that really needs to be said about him? 6'10", small forward. He did 36 minutes last year. He averaged 23.7 points, which was a career high for him. 6.6 rebounds, 3.3 assists, 1.6 steals, and about 3 turnovers. Paul George can do everything. He can get to the basket. He can shoot. He can play defense. He's crazy athletic. He's 6'10". He can even rebound. So to be honest, Paul George is a bona fide star. That's what you get out of him. He's a star in the league. He's top 5, my opinion, top 5. More people might have him a little bit more in the top 10, but for me, he's a top 5 player in this league. The Thunder are going all in. To be honest, the one thing I see them trying to do is they want to keep Russell around. Now, Russell and Paul George have 2 players that are very well known for being told that they're going to go to the Lakers. But this is really, in my opinion, I'm thinking that the Thunder are really trying to make this a huge splash move just so they can keep Russell Westbrook and, of course, Paul George, but especially Russell Westbrook. For right now, we haven't heard of anything of the Thunder asking for any commitment from Paul George to re-sign after this upcoming season. So, to be honest, it's like a 1-year tryout if things go well. They can become a playoff team, maybe even a championship contender, possibly. They all have other good pieces. They have Steven Adams, who's a good big for them, and they have some decent guys. They have Andre Robertson, who can play some defense. He doesn't provide much else, but again, he's a defender. They have other pieces around that they can have a decent team. Now, I don't think they'll be a championship contender for next year, but they'll definitely be a playoff team. They can make the playoffs, even in a stacked conference like the West, because you have 2 bona fide stars. Now, guys that they're both number 1 scoring options. Westbrook put up a triple-double last year and won MVP. So we'll really have to see on how that works. Westbrook has played with Kevin Durant, so he has played in the presence of another star. But we have to see if Paul George is willing to not be the number 1 option, which I'm assuming he would. To be honest, if he wants to win, that's what he's going to have to do because, Russell won the MVP last year. I highly doubt he's going to want to give up too many touches and become a exception. He's the point guard. I'm pretty sure that he will be the first option on that team. Now, for overall, I mean, the Pacers, they're in rebuild mode now. They get two decent players. They get a developing rookie. Oladipo's still young enough where he can do a little bit more developing. Either way, with Oladipo, they still get a solid starter on their team. So to be honest, this is time for them to, get draft picks, acquire assets, and just improve. They're starting in rebuilding mode. They have other guys. They have Lance Stevenson, who's decent. They also have other pieces on there. They still have Thad Young. I mean, they don't have much, but they have enough as to where they have Jeff Teague. They have enough where they can make it by for the next, couple years. They weren't going to keep Paul George anyway. So to be honest, it's similar to the Chris Paul move. What you're trying to do is get value while you can, because if they leave, you end up with nothing in your empty handed. If you know the guy's going to leave, at least in my opinion, you should trade him. Get whatever value you can out of him. They get two decent players, one guy who can develop into something good and a good starter for giving up their star player. They weren't going to be keeping him past next year. They're building more for the future and not for the current. Either way, this was my thoughts on the trade. I really want to hear what you guys have to think, if this was a good trade, if you guys even expected this to even happen, and how you think the Thunder and Pacers are going to do next year. Now, like the video, subscribe for more of this content, and besides that, I'm out.